Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jill. I'm an author, artist, and creative entrepreneur, and I've been working on reinventing my creative business since January of this year. It is currently a Monday, start of a new work week. I'm putting the finishing touches on a week in my life as a creative entrepreneur vlog that I put together over the course of the last week and a few more days, actually. Say hi to Cheddar, by the way. He's snoozing on my couch. Anyway, in my previous week in my life video, I basically talked about how I need to work on illustrations for my upcoming third chapter book. And then I didn't do any of that last week. I got I don't want to say sidetracked. It was just other things came up that had to take priority. I designed the cover for my book. I proofread my book and also sent it off to my mother and my aunt to proofread it as well. I spent a lot of time prepping videos for just like to pipeline them so that I can put those out as I work on illustrations more heavily this week. And yeah, I think that just about covers it, but I am going to try and get little snippets so that I can save them for whenever I want to put together another similar vlog. I'm hoping you guys start to like these because I have a lot of fun recording for them and just sharing the process, especially because I am still in the very early phases of my business. And in addition to publishing my third book later this year, I'm going to be putting out character products. I'm going to be working on marketing, getting my social media restarted, things like that. And yeah, that said, I'm gonna get started with drawing today as soon as I get my video posted, and we'll see where that takes me. Okay, so I am set up to go here. I just wanted to share that at some point in time, I don't know when, but I have this like beautiful landscape drawing that I started in September of 2023, and I never finished it. I actually just feel bad for my little characters because I intended to make this like a really widescreen drawing, and so you can see here like the characters on this side aren't finished yet. So I think when I need a break from illustrating my third book, I'm gonna just come back to this, and just keep working on it, because I would love to just have that as a bit of a side project here on this channel, and that way, I don't know, you guys can hold me accountable for completing this drawing in a way. So today I'm going to be working on the chapter 2 illustrations for my book. The captions that I extricated to work on are as follows. The first one, Jelly, Dandelion exclaimed. Your turn. She bounced the ball to Jelly, who caught it easily. So it's a recess scene. I love drawing my characters out on the playground. The second caption takes place in the cafeteria. So, can I count on you? Brownie wanted to know. Her eyes were so wide, and she wasn't letting go of her gaze on me. She looked somewhat nervous again. All right, and then I only have one illustration for chapter 3. I'm gonna have to reread that chapter briefly just to make sure that that's the only one I wanna do, but the caption for chapter 3 is, everyone clapped and cheered as Dandelion smiled bashfully. I make a good teacher, Fluffy said. We'll keep up our work at home. All right, so that's what I'm embarking on today and this week. This is my executive board. Electra, how is everything going today? She's pretending that she does not hear me. This board member was too sleepy to attend the meeting. Okay, welcome to the portion of the video where I do my best to hold my camera steady because I'm going to be moving it to other things. Also, I'm going to put the caption for this drawing as like on the video up here somewhere. So here we have my characters, Jelly, Peanut, she's the narrator of this book, Dandelion, she's the new girl at school, and this girl is named Caramel. The ball is just kind of flying on the ground there because I want to be able to draw these characters in full. The ball will actually be in front of them somewhere, like closer to Jelly's hands. But the thing is, since Procreate works in layers and I want each character to have her own layer, the ball will just be a layer on top of all that. So this is basically just my reminder, like, hey, draw a ball in this picture when it's done. And like I said, it'll be positioned so that it's aiming from where Dandelion bounced it into Jelly's hands. Also, I wanted to share that part of my technique for this is that I refer back to previous pictures of my characters because, see, I wanted to remember the details of Caramel. I have not drawn her that often yet. So, for instance, she has these little white freckles on her cheeks, and she also has the white patch over her eye. She also likes to wear little girly things, like here she has string, like embroidery floss and beads on her ears coming from her little bows. But in this picture, she is wearing a cap with hearts on it. Oops, sorry, that blurred for a second. So she's pretty girly. I wanted to go with the little hearts theme for her scarf, cap, and gloves. Also, if I turn to this other page I marked with yet another vintage pencil with a sheep on it. So here's Peanut and Jelly over in the corner here, and I wanted to make sure that their coats are consistent from one book to another, because at this age, like generally speaking, I feel like girls usually only have like 1 or 2 winter coats, so I want to keep the style consistent. So you can see that their coats look kind of the same here. Jelly's is not ruffled yet because this is just a a rough sketch. You can see it again here. It's kind of got a ruffled edge to it, so I'll be adding that in when I go over and retrace these girls and just clarify all the details and everything before I go ahead with digitization. But this is pretty much what a rough sketch looks like. Dandelion will actually be on like an opposite facing page. Like this will basically be a page, left side of the page, right side of the page. So she won't be this close to them. She'll kind of be off a little further to the side once I maneuver things. And I'm not really doing a background for this. There's going to be text above them, of course, and they'll be sized in. But I don't love drawing backgrounds. Like I love drawing characters a lot more than backgrounds. So they're basically just going to have like a little shadow under each of their feet, maybe, or I might do a blacktop sort of texture beneath them. I'll see how I feel about that once I get into my iPad. Okay, welcome to... Hey everyone, so in case you can't tell, I am not at my desk yet today. I'm trying to make that happen. It was grocery day. As you can see, there's strawberries and grapes drying on the counter here. And I apologize, I look a little sleepy today. That's why I've decided to just make myself another cup of coffee, even though it's 1:30 in the afternoon. So just bear with me. I figured the least I could do is do like a little change of scenery here while I talk to you guys today. Yesterday I did a rough sketch of the first illustration for chapter 2 of my book. So what I think I want to do today is go over that again in pencil and refine it so that it's ready for the digitization process. And I think rather than talking to the camera too much today, I'm going to set this one up as an overhead draw with me video, which will be separate. So I will bring that to you guys in a separate video. And then I will return today to show you where progress is at by the time the day is over. So for now, I'm going to caffeinate myself, get set up, get my overhead camera in place, and I'll see you guys later. Hey you guys, I'm back. So this is how far I got. As far as tracing, you can see I've got 2 of the girls finished so far. My draw with me video ended up being 40 minutes. I had intended to make it about 20, but I was kind of on a roll, so I kept going. I am going to try and get that edited as quickly as I can, just so I can have it as content ready to go. And yeah, I'll follow up here on this vlog once this drawing is finished and ready for digital. Electra, stop stealing their parsley. You don't even like to eat that stuff. What did I just say? That's better. So good news, I finished my drawing, and even better news, Electra just stepped off of it for me. So hey, up. Here we go. Here is the finished product for the day. I will be scanning this into my iPad. Oops, sorry, baby. I'll be scanning this into my iPad tomorrow and working on the digitization, and I'll also be sketching the next illustration for this chapter. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I'll see you tomorrow. So it's tomorrow, so first, I want to actually hold up my drawing that I finished sketching and hold it steady. Because I realized that yesterday when I finished my video, I literally did not hold it still. So here we have it. And again, the ball is not actually going to stay in that exact position. I am going to manipulate that once this is in digital form and get that where it needs to be. So anyway, today is Wednesday. I successfully recorded an entire Draw With Me video yesterday, so I'm really happy with where my video projects are as far as my work pipeline. So today I can really just relax and sketch another drawing, get this one into my iPad and not have to worry about recording my process, at least not today. So that takes a little bit of pressure off. I also wanted to mention, I think I'm going to do a video that's about the books in my series and just let people know the summary of each one, just because I haven't done that yet. But I will mention for the purpose of this video that the third book in my series is basically about a girl who's relatively new to her school. The narrator has lived in this town her whole life, so we're seeing the newer girl through the eyes of this narrator who's always lived in their town, and she's curious as to why this new girl has always been quiet, very shy, doesn't seem to want to make friends, very concerned with perfectionism in her grades and things like that. And I don't want to give any spoilers per se, but the topic of the book does surround parental alcoholism. I realize this is kind of a heavy subject matter for middle grade readers, especially when my characters are literally cats, dogs, and rabbits. However, I received some very strongly good feedback from my developmental editor as to how I handled the subject matter, because obviously I don't want to depict this topic in a way that's in any way traumatic for the reader. It's more like having a character open up about her experience with her parent and something that happened prior to her moving to this town where she now lives and where this narrator is observing the character. Hopefully that made sense. Anyway, so that's what the book is about. I will get more into that in depth with that in a subsequent video. So the captions that I might be working on today, I haven't decided which one yet. The first one that I can choose from is, "So, can I count on you?" Brownie wanted to know. Her eyes were so wide and she wasn't letting go of her gaze on me. She looked somewhat nervous again. The other caption I might do is, "Everyone clapped and cheered as Dandelion smiled bashfully. I make a good teacher," Fluffy said. "We'll keep up our work at home." So that scene is when they're in dance class, and it's probably going to have a lot of characters in it. I'm most likely going to start with the first quotation that I chose, which is the second one for chapter 2, so it makes sense. But yeah, that's a simpler one to illustrate. I think I might like to sketch all of these before I really dig in with the digitization process, because working on my iPad is something I can do even if I'm like watching TV at night or whatever, whereas sketching I need daylight and my desk to lean on. That's a lot harder to do outside of the desk setting. So that's where I'm gonna start today, and I'll circle back and share with you guys my progress at the end of the day. All right, well, I've come to the time of my day that I need to tidy up my desk area, write down my daily time log, write down my daily wins, check my to-do list, see if there's anything else I can cross off or anything I need to add. So admittedly, I did not get as far with this drawing as I would have hoped. I was hoping to complete the sketch. However, I opted to do this one a little differently. Like for my previous drawing, I did the whole rough sketch and then I traced it over, whereas this one, obviously this part is still in the rough stage. This part is I've already gone over her, so she looks darker than the other two characters. So anyway, that's as far as I got, and this brings me to my sticking point, which is that I still am frustrated that I just need to be able to draw faster again, and I know speed is going to come with time. My style is kind of ever evolving as I do more, illustrate more books, which is a good thing, but it's also like, okay, I'm inadvertently evolving my style as I'm trying to regain speed again, but I kind of can't help that. It's just what's naturally transpiring as I go about this process. So I also still need to photograph the illustration that I did yesterday. Yep, there it is. So I'm going to try and do that in the fading light, and then I'm going to cut myself off for today and make dinner, and then I will see you guys again tomorrow. Okay, everyone, it is a new day. It's a Thursday. The weather is finally beautiful again. I've got all the windows in my condo open, including my office. It feels so nice. So today I have a wonderful opportunity to do nothing except illustrate. So I'm going to work on that speed thing that I talked about in my previous segment and just, keep rebuilding my own confidence with the whole process. Also, I am hoping to check out a new coffee shop in my area because ever since my favorite one closed, I have not found a new place to go get coffee and write again. It is important to me that I get back to writing, even though penning my fourth book is not a priority project at this point in time. It does help, break up the flow of my day. Like if I need to take a break, it's very easy to just grab my notebook and, write a few paragraphs. So I really need to put my head back into that manuscript because it is started. And honestly, even if I end up scrapping a good portion of it, I just want to be in a place where I'm actively working on it again, even if it's just here and there in pockets of time or just, when I go out and get coffee. So anyway, I think I'm going to turn the coffee shop hunt into a short series. So wish me luck on that. And I'll return later on today with more updates. Okay, it's the end of the day. Unfortunately, I've gotten a little headachy today, so because of that, I didn't get as far as I hoped, but I did get this one fully digitized, and I love how it came out. My other drawing that was in progress, I had really hoped to be able to finish this one and get it scanned into my iPad today. Didn't quite happen, but basically, I just have to draw Peanut and her lunch items on the table, jelly and brownie here, as well as the table itself, the chairs, their food. That's all completely done. So I might be able to work on this a little later this evening, just because sometimes after dinner and everything, I will still pick up my iPad or my sketch pad and keep on going with something, but I'll have to see how I feel. I just hope I feel better by tomorrow. Let's put it that way. Okay, TGIF, my friends, happy Friday. So it's a little after 3 in the afternoon. This is the first time I'm recording today because after I was unexpectedly headachy and just my body was in a decent amount of pain yesterday afternoon, rather unexpectedly, I prioritized getting rest. And then this morning I did some self-care and I also had to take care of some grocery shopping. So long story short, I didn't really get to my desk until a short bit ago. I've been working on this drawing still. I added in Peanut's lunch food here to the spread, and I still have to draw her. I like the way her head came out so far. It's kind of just floating there by itself, as you can see, but it's a little too low on the page, so I'm debating if I want to erase her and redraw her head and then her body, obviously, or if I just want to continue drawing her as she is and then digitally raise her up as needed. So I'm going to figure that out when I sit back down again, because I think what I'm going to do is go to a coffee shop that's really close to where I live. It's literally like half a block away, and I'm just determined to get everything crossed off my to-do list today because I had to catch up from yesterday. So since I go to one coffee shop this week, it's literally, I'm looking at my to-do list right now, it's like there's only 2 things left on my list for today, this week. So I think I'm going to go to that coffee shop, take my drawing pad with me. If I'm not liking it, I can always just walk right back home with the coffee, obviously. So, but I'm going to film my first short because I want to turn the coffee shop into a shorts series. So wish me luck. All right, author on a mission. I need to find a new coffee shop because my favorite one has permanently closed. Okay, so that was unfortunately a bit of a failed mission, but the point is that at least I tried. I made it outside. I checked this place out. Basically, it's a coffee shop that's attached to a hotel, and it had no ambiance on the inside. There was a juice case and a pastry display case, and they literally just had like pots of hot coffee, like small, medium, large, that's it. Nothing, fancy or fun. So rather than spend my money there, I simply walked back home. But that's okay. At least I checked it out. And next week, I think I'm going to try and get to at least 2 new places, maybe even 3. I really am looking for a place I can go on my bike or better yet, walking distance, but that's unlikely given where I live. So anyway, when I got home, my husband had brought some baklava, so it didn't even matter to me that I hadn't bought a pastry. So I get my pastry after all, at least. And since it is almost 4 o'clock, I was like, you know what? Maybe caffeine this late in the day is not the best idea anyway. So I'm literally going to get back to the drawing board after I enjoy this because it's going to cover my fingers in honey, and then I'll check back in later. right, you guys, I did it. I finished this sketch. I'm super excited. I'm going to take a photo of it right away and begin my digitization process immediately. I would be so stoked if I can get this one finished by tomorrow. That way I'll have done two complete illustrations this week. My goal had been 3. I'm still trying to figure out, based on my weekly to-do list and workload, if I should be aiming to do 3 per week, or if that's a little unrealistic in the long run, or if it's just a matter of getting my speed back up. But be that as it may, I am going to evaluate what my potential book publication date might be if I do 2 drawings a week versus 3. As honestly, the illustrations themselves are going to be the biggest determining factor as far as, you know, putting into my mind when's a plausible publication date to aim for. So I will probably bring some commentary on that soon, but for now I'm going to get to digitizing. Hey you guys, it is now Monday morning. I had intended to wrap up this edition of Week in My Life over the weekend. However, Saturday I was just too busy, and yesterday I was way too worn out. So I did, however, finish my drawing. I believe we left off Friday with the sketch being done, if I remember correctly. And now the digital version is also complete, so I am super excited about that. I'm really happy with the way this turned out, and I can't wait to get started on the next one. Speaking of the next one, I will be bringing some new and different content to my video streams this week. I will be talking more about the book publishing process. I think I'm going to delve into illustration, how I approach that, and how my style has evolved over the years. I think I might even make those 2 separate videos, but we shall see. I do need to get a lot done this week off camera, so I also want to pace myself as far as video production versus drawing versus other things I have to do for my book. So that being said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, check out my Instagram and or my book's website on the end screen, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks again, guys.